Okay, welcome everyone to the OPHARDT Hygiene webinar for the RX Dispenser series, what we refer to as the Flexible Dispenser series. I see that we have a very international crowd joining us today from 5 continents actually, only missing Antarctica. So thank you for very much for taking the time to listen in wherever you are. So my name is Joel OPHARDT. I'm joining you from our German facility. And I'll be guiding you through today's webinar. So let's take a look at the agenda. So first up, I'll give you a very condensed introduction to who OPHARDT Hygiene is, for those who may not be familiar with our organization. Then I'll hand over to Padraig McDonough, who you can see on your screen. He's a longtime brilliant OPHARTT engineer who is the product manager for the RX series. And its bigger brother, the internationally renowned Engelmann series. Padraig will take you through the Dispenser series itself, from dispenser to packaging. After that, Padraig will hand over to Patrick Stressler. Patrick is also a seasoned OPHARTT engineering veteran and product manager of our stainless steel Zantral series for washrooms. His team also develops most of the endless bracket solutions that are used to make the RX series more accessible. So finally, we'll have a brief wrap up from my side and a question and answer period. So at any point in time, if you have a question, please use your GoToMeeting control panel and enter your questions into the questions section. If you don't see an option on your control panel, press the red button with an arrow to expand the panel. We'll address the questions at the end with the remaining time we have. So let's get started. So OPHARTT Hygiene was founded in 1962 by Herman OPHARTT, a young engineer at the time. In his early 30s, he was working out of his garage where he developed a dispenser series that has remained the #1 dispenser in German, Swiss, and Austrian healthcare facilities for the past 50 years. His dispenser was the first to reliably dispense alcohol-based hand rubs, which at the time were becoming very popular. Used a hygienic stainless steel lever and used upwards instead of downward dispensing. The dispensers spread like wildfire because of their reputation for reliability. So that opened up some opportunities, and very quickly the company expanded from Germany to open up manufacturing locations in Belgium, then Ireland, Canada, Switzerland, and the Philippines. This year we're actually opening up another production facility in Armenia. Each location has its own specialization, like stainless steel production in Germany, high volume pump manufacturing in Canada, medical dispenser manufacturing in Ireland, plastic dispenser manufacturing in the Philippines, and so on. We currently have around 700 OPHARTT employees, growing a little because of coronavirus, and over 1,000 standard products. Most of what you see in the OPHARTT portfolio, though, is actually OEM manufacturing. Around 20 to 30% of our products are actually what you see. The rest are kind of working in the background. And what we're most proud of is the 400 patents we hold in the dispensing space. Since Herman founded the company, we've stayed true to our engineering roots and really focused on developing customer-driven innovation and reliability, baking that into all the products that we offer. So all of these innovations are based around one single framework, our mission, which is to break the chain of infection. We don't produce chemicals like soaps and sanitizers. In fact, those manufacturers are typically our partners. Anything that falls into the spectrum of hardware and software that can help our customers prevent users getting infected is what we spend our time developing. During the coronavirus pandemic, this is particularly relevant as we believe that our products are vital tools that reduce the need for treatment while we wait for a vaccine. So as far as flexible, affordable solutions go, we believe the RX series is the perfect infection prevention tool for those circumstances. So now I'll hand over to Padraig, who will explain the key features of the dispenser series.
Thanks, Joel. Welcome again, everybody. As Joel said, my name is Cord McDonough. I'm the product manager for the Eurobottle range of dispensers, includes both our Ingoman and our RX range. And I'd like to start by giving you an overview of the key features of the series. And those of you that are familiar with our IMP, our Ingoman Plus dispensers range, you'll notice that many of the RX incorporates many of those features. We manufacture both manual and touchless versions of the dispenser. The dispenser accepts our disposable hygiene pumps and our permanent plastic pumps, as well as some packaging solutions that we've got available, and we'll have a look at those in a little bit more detail later on. It incorporates easy removal of the pump from the front, and that's critical in terms of the ease of use of the dispenser for the end user. So it means that the pump can be removed for either cleaning the pump if it's a permanent plastic pump, or exchanging the package in the case of a package solution, or in our GHP pump, removing the pump and bottle unit to replace it with another. The dispenser is compatible with disinfectants, alcohol gel, soaps and lotions, handles all of those liquids with equal ease. It's designed also to accommodate 500 milliliter Euro bottles, and I'm going to talk a little bit later about the advantage of the Euro bottle system. The housing for both dispensers is made from robust ABS material. It's actually a material, even those of you maybe who aren't so familiar with plastics will have seen ABS ports used in a wide variety of consumer goods and higher end appliances. And we have a range of additional accessories for improving hand hygiene compliance. And my colleague Patrick is going to go through some of that later on in quite a bit more detail. So I mentioned earlier there that the patented front removal of the pump from the dispenser. So on the left-hand side, the images you see there are RX5N, the manual dispenser, and on the right-hand side, the touchless version. And in both cases, the pump and our package can be removed simply by opening the nose of the dispenser. That's accomplished in the manual version by pulling the drip tray or the shutter at the bottom of the dispenser forward and downward, and it exposes the pump and bottle to allow it to be easily removed. In the case of the touchless dispenser, the nose is just pulled forward, pivoted upwards, and everything's accessible. And we're going to look at some video clips later on that will illustrate that in a little bit more detail. So one of the key elements of the dispenser range, as Joel mentioned, is flexibility and the ability to position and place dispensers when and where they're needed. So we're all familiar with the 5 moments of hand hygiene and the importance that's been placed on locating dispensers in appropriate areas where people can use them, and the impact that has on achieving compliance in terms of hand hygiene. And one of the things that's key to that positioning system and the universality of the whole thing is our Ingoman backplate. So it's a universal solution for fixing both the RX and the Ingoman dispensers. It's used whether you're mounting on a wall, on a stand, on a bracket system, as Patrick will go through each of those in more detail later on. The material is long-lasting, robust plastic. The backplate is secured to the wall with 3 screws. It's a fast and easy process. There's an integrated tab to remove the dispenser. So the screws are used to fix the backplate to the wall, but there are no tools or special equipment needed to fit the dispenser to the backplate or to remove it from the wall, whether that removal be to relocate it to a different position, to change a dispenser type. For example, our manual and touchless dispensers use the same backplate as does our Ingoman series, or whether it's for something as simple as redecorating the wall, or maybe even in the case of our manual dispenser, placing it in the dishwasher. So in terms of what pumps and packages can be used in the dispenser, so we can use our permanent plastic pump, which is dishwasher safe, manual reprocessing and cleaning there. Our disposable hygiene pump, which is a single-use pump that you are forced to exchange the pump after each bottle exchange. So no issues with cleaning or reprocessing there. That pump is fully recyclable. We have independent certification for that. are the packaging solutions. So the EuroPack and the EuroPouch. So the EuroPack is essentially it's a bottle which collapses once the liquid is evacuated. The pump is permanently fixed on there. It's sealed. It ensures the highest hygiene standards and it's safe against contamination. The pouch is a similar concept, and that uses, as you see, I think almost like a sealed collapsible pouch, which again collapses as the liquid is evacuated. Our EuroPack is currently available, and the EuroPouch towards the end of this year. So, as well as being compatible with our packaging systems and the DHP, the RX Dispenser series is designed for the ground up to be Eurobottle compatible, and with all of the advantages that that brings. And some of those are listed below. So, this standardization again brings, as Joel mentioned earlier, flexibility. It allows the customer or the end user to choose the type of liquid that they wish to dispense from the manufacturer of their choice. So obviously that has cost implications in terms of cost savings. So a customer is not tied to one particular supplier or liquid type. That's particularly important during pandemics like the moment, where supplies may become scarce and unavailable from certain sources. And it also allows the parallel use of products to target specific pathogens. So again, the user is free to choose the liquid of their choice from the supplier of their choice. And indeed that concept and the reason behind it is recognized by and listed in many of the hygiene guidelines, for example, CRINCO. So I mentioned earlier the material of choice for this dispenser, so ABS plastic. So just some of the characteristics of that material: it provides strong impact resistance and heat resistance. It's got a high tensile strength, so it's able to withstand twisting. It doesn't deform easily. Shock absorbance and scratch resistance, and of course a very important one in products that need to have aesthetic appeal is the scratch resistance. So you get a high surface finish there, and it is very resistant to abrasion. It's got good dimensional stability, which is important when products are used in different environmental conditions, for example with temperature changes, and the material is entirely recyclable. So we'll start by looking maybe at the touchless version in a little bit more detail and some of the features that apply to that. So our touchless dispenser, as you can see, it's a very pleasing design. The image opposite, it's hygienic touchless technology. It uses the pumps we've mentioned before, and it's designed for the 500 milliliter Euro bottle. So flexible positioning, be it on desktop or a stand or wall mounted once a specific adapter is used. So again, we spoke earlier about the importance of being able to position the product where it's needed and mount it where it's most accessible to achieve optimum compliance. And this dispenser and the accessories that are around it ensure that that's the case. It's adjustable in terms of stroke, so the dispenser can be set to produce 1, 2, or 3 activations at a time. That's easily selectable by the user. It's available in dosages of 1 milliliter or 1.5 milliliter per stroke, and obviously that means that the total dosage per use can vary anywhere from 1 milliliter to 4.5 milliliters, which covers all cases. There's an optional drip tray available for the dispenser. It's powered by 4 C-cell batteries. The dispenser is supplied with industrial quality C-cell batteries, so long life batteries, but it's also capable of being used with rechargeable batteries if the customer desires to do that. Those batteries are located in the base of the dispenser. They're easily accessible, but by placing them in the base below the bottle, we've managed to create a dispenser which is extremely stable when it's used in a desktop setting. So it doesn't tip over, it can be pushed or not, and it stays stably in place. Just something that you can't actually see in the image there. The dispenser excuse me, uses an infrared sensor to determine the hand being placed underneath, but it also comes complete with an LED array. So when the dispenser is being used, a green LED shines on the hand to indicate usage. When the nose of the dispenser is opened to exchange the pump or until it's closed, there's a red LED that indicates that function, and there's an amber LED which flashes to indicate when the user is changing the number of strokes, be that 1, 2, or 3 strokes per activation, as we said. So the RX5T is a Eurobottle compatible dispenser, and what we've compiled here is just some specifications for the bottle that fits into that dispenser. We provided maximum and in the case of the next, some minimum dimensions for the bottle, also some information on the positioning of the neck in the bottle. And this information is freely available, and it's provided so that users can choose appropriate bottles and liquids for the dispenser, and indeed that manufacturers are able to develop their bottles and packaging so that it's suitable for the dispenser. So what we're looking at here is a short video of the dispenser in operation. So the drip tray is easily removable for cleaning. The nose of the dispenser is slid forward, opened upward to expose the pump. Bottle is easily removed. And by pressing down on a small tab at the front of the dispenser, the pump can be taken out single-handed from the front. No special tools or equipment are needed. Reinserting the pump is as simple as sliding it in. It clicks into place again. The spring-loaded tab engages. The bottle is inserted and the nose closed downward. And finally, if a drip tray has been used, that's refitted and the dispenser is ready for use. So as regarding the installation options for the dispenser, and again, going back to the idea of we need to be able to locate this dispenser at any point or any position where the customer desires it. The dispenser can be wall mounted via a special adapter that you see on the left side image there that's against the wall, and that adapter you can see is tailored and contoured to match perfectly with the geometry of the dispenser. It can be used on a stand, and again, there are various stands and so on available, and Patrick will discuss that later on, or on a desktop. And again, getting back to the importance of the design of the dispenser so that it sits securely on the desk, and the thought that went behind that in the terms of positioning of batteries and so on. So when the dispenser has been mounted on the wall, there's a special adapter is used to do that. And again, while the adapter is used, the adapter fits onto the same gray backplate that we discussed earlier on. The easy installation, and there's this adapter is fitted with a lock, so the dispenser can be locked securely to the wall. With regard to customization, the dispenser has a bezel and a drip tray in high visibility colors, and our standard high visibility colors are yellow, red, and orange. And it's also been noted in several studies as being one of the things which really can enhance hygiene compliance by typical values of 6%. So it's another key feature, along with the positioning, to be able to ensure that the dispensers are used as required. Logo and print can be applied on the face shield to the customer's choice of size, color, and so on. So moving on to the manual version of the dispenser now. So again, those of you who are familiar with our Ingoman Plus dispenser will already notice the similarity in terms of look around the lever of the dispenser. So it's hygienic grown with a stainless steel lever for arm or elbow operation. Again, the dispenser is designed for 500 milliliter Euro bottles, and we spoke about the advantage of the Euro bottle system and the flexibility that provides the user. Can be wall mounted or installed on a stand. There's a dosage of 1.5 milliliter per full stroke, and the complete dispenser is dishwasher safe. if that's the way a customer chooses to clean it. It incorporates a unique patented feature for an adjustable base angle to achieve optimum bottle fit. There are locking and non-locking versions of the dispenser available, and the dispenser comes with a removable drip tray. The drip tray does not have to be removed to carry out any of the functions, open, closing, or whatever, but it's removable for easy cleaning, and the customer can choose to use it or not as they require. Again, we've provided the specifications in relating to the bottle sizes that are required to fit into the dispenser. So freely available for customers who wish to source bottles or for manufacturers who wish to produce them or produce bottles that are compatible with this dispenser. Here again, we've got a video of the RX5M mounted on the wall. So the drip tray is pulled forward, hinged down to expose to the pump. It's held in place by the spring-loaded orange catcher at the top. Simply lifting the pump, sliding forward allows you to remove it. So very simple one-handed operation. Insertion is just the reverse of removal. Once the pump is installed, it clips into place. The bottle is reinserted in the dispenser, and the shutter and drip tray mechanism together are raised upward and pushed back into position. On the first stroke, the pump is engaged by the lever, and the dispenser is ready for reuse. So as I've mentioned in the features of this dispenser, it comes in both locking and non-locking versions. So again, the same drip tray fits both versions. It's not necessary to remove the drip tray to lock or unlock the dispenser, but it provides that added security for customers that require it, for example, if the dispenser is to be used in public areas and so on. One of the unique features of this dispenser I mentioned earlier is the adjustable base angle. So the base angle is the piece on which the bottle sits and holds the bottle securely in the dispenser. So in the RX5M, we have a system whereby using a screwdriver or similar tool, the user simply pivots downwards and can move the base angle into any of the number of the slots that are indicated on the screen there. So it can be moved, for example, upward or downward and clicked into place in any of those slots. The reinsertion does not require a tool. It's simply used just to remove the dispenser, but it does allow the users to use even bottles which are outside of the standard range of bottle heights. So again, providing ultimate flexibility of the product in terms of the media and the media that's used and the bottle that is contained within. Again, we offer high visibility colors in the RX5M, our manual version. As you see, the drip trays, they're available again in the three colors, the yellow, the red, and the orange. And again, we know the impact, we've discussed the impact that those high vis colors can have on compliance. A logo print or text can be on the side of the dispenser, on either side of the dispenser, at the top or the bottom, or anywhere along this, on the spine, as you see in the image on the screen. In terms of installation options, the dispenser can be wall mounted, as we've seen, or on some of our stand solutions like the one of the image on the right hand side of the screen there. And as I said, Patrick is going to go into that in some more detail now, because we've some of the other mounting solutions available as well, of which there are many. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Patrick, and just if there are any questions regarding what I've gone through, please submit them. I'll do my best to answer them at the end of the webinar.
Yeah, thanks, Porrick. Welcome, everybody. I would like to introduce you into the bracket systems that are available for the two dispensers. So the hygiene station stand that you had just recently seen allows for fixation of the RX5M MT, and you have also seen the wall mounting solution and also the desktop installation of the RX5T. But there are some more installation types that I would like to show to you. So typically, when we talk about bracket systems, this is in the context of the installation in the medical environment. Nowadays, in the pandemic situation, hand disinfection gets more important everywhere, also in public spaces, but this specific bracket systems that we see here are typically in hospital use or other medical facilities. It's one of the most common accessories for the two dispensers, and it is important that the dispensers are close as possible to where the staff would typically need it, as it improves, as Porrick outlined before, the compliance of hand hygiene. When we see the 5 moments of hand hygiene where it has to happen, we need to make sure that the installation is at the point of care, how we call it. So availability of space is always an issue in the hospital. So there's 2 typical situations that we install the dispensers when it's not on a desktop or wall mounting situation or on a stand, which would be the norm rail, which is the picture shown on the left, and the round frame. The norm rails would be typically found in a hospital, for example, at incubators, wall rails, medical carts. It's a profile of 10 to 25 millimeters where a lot of hospital accessory is fixed onto, and also we offer a solution for our dispensers to fix onto those. The round rail would be typically in 2 situations, either on the patient bed, like you can see it here on the right side. That's the foot end of the patient, where you would have, when you go to the patient, the ideal positioning before you get in the contact with the direct patient environment. You can sanitize your hands. Or another typical one would be infusion stands, where we would have then the clamp in an upright position. The 2 bracket systems are made out of stainless steel, and I'd like to show you also how these are installed. So both bracket systems, they are using the universal backplate that you have seen before already. For the RX5T dispenser, which you can see here on these renders, is to be used with the adapter to fix it onto the backplate. And as it's part of the bracket system, all the RX dispensers go onto it, as well as other dispensers like Ingoman, etc., that we have in our portfolio. On the norm rail, the installation is that you push onto the spring that is on the backside of the bracket inwards into, you see there's a rectangular gap where the spring can dive into, and then you simply push the bracket onto the rail until the spring clips into place on the bottom side, and then it's fixed into all directions and doesn't need any further handling or tool to fix it. And the removal is also as simple as this. So you just push onto the spring again, shift it upwards, and this is the way to remove it from the rail. So it's also easy to reposition the dispenser for cleaning or for redressing the room, etc. On the right-hand side, the round frames, you see a clamp. This clamp can be turned by 90 degrees. In this situation where you have the horizontal orientation would be the typical installation on the bed, as you have seen it in the picture before. So you would just unscrew the knob until it goes over the round tube. The size is from 22 to 40 millimeters. So you can just open it up so that you can slide it over the tube, and then you fix it again just by turning the knob with your hand. You have inside the clamp, you have a rubber foam inside, so this would both fix it stronger, so it prevents that it slides, and also it prevents some scratching onto the tube. The screw on the bottom that you can see there is for fixing it against a board that would be typically on the patient bed underneath the rail. So when, for example, for the manual dispenser, when it's operated from the top, there's some force applied to it, especially force onto the clamp that goes around the tube. And in order to take that force, we have the screw at the bottom that can adjust the distance to the board easily, so that the clamp doesn't have to hold the whole thing. Another solution that we have here is an installation on a stainless steel stand that you can see on the right side. It's an easy fixation using two M4 threads that you can see on the bottom side of the dispenser. In this view, you can also see the opening for the battery compartment, and on the left and right side, you see those two threads at the dispenser, and you simply just need a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, and you screw the dispenser from the bottom through the top plate of the stand into the dispenser. And this way, so it's a super easy installation, but at the same time, it's a theft protection so that you cannot just take the dispenser easily away. It's a very robust stainless steel stand made out of IZ304 stainless steel. And due to its slim design, it's very flexible. It can be placed in also narrow areas, in queuing areas, or in entrance areas from shops and so on. So public environments is also a typical application here. So this stand would be compared to the bracket systems that are mainly for the medical environment. This would allow also for installations more in public environments, but also in the medical section. Yeah, and with this, I would like to hand back over to Joel.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick and Porrig, for the detailed look into this series. So one thing that I'd like to highlight that Porrig did not mention is the RX10M dispenser. That's the big brother of the RX5M, which Porrig already showed you. It has all the same features as the RX5M, but it's just in 1 liter format instead of 500 ml. We were planning to launch this in Q1 of this year. We have it in the 2020 catalog, fully expecting that launch period, but coronavirus unfortunately had other plans for us. I know a lot of you are waiting for this product and eager to get your hands on it. Unfortunately, Porrig's engineering team needs machine time in order to finalize that last 2% of the product. It's really about fine tuning here. And currently all the machines at OPHART are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And, we wish we had even more capacity than that. So finding the time to finish this product off is hard, even though it really is 98% there. We hope the product will launch in early fall. It might even be sooner, but it really depends on how dispenser demand holds up over the next few months. So if you express some interest to us, the more interest we also have for this product, the more priority we can assign to this. So please do email us if this or getting in touch with us if this is a product that's of interest. And so the RX series is our newest Eurobottle system, but we have delivered more than 100,000 units into the market so far, so it is tested. You can visit our blog at news.ophart.com to read some customer stories about user experience of these products as well, just to get some reassurance from that side. So pictured here, you can see the RX5T touchless dispenser being implemented at a Russian hospital's neonatal unit. Using one of those bracket systems that Patrick was talking about to get hand hygiene right by the neonatal unit, which is very important. And then on the right, you see the RX5M being implemented at an elderly care home in Germany. So here, flexibility, ease of use, the economical factors of the series are really the deciding factors. And of course, these are medical environments, but the system is being used in the food industry, in public areas, in laboratories, and any area where hand hygiene is really important. So you can see that on the Hygiene Hub, which is our blog. Feel free to check that out. There's a few more different references as well that you can find. Of course, for those of you looking for more information on other products that we offer, we're going to be producing a few more webinars going forward. In June, we'll have 3. In fact, we're planning to do this indefinitely going into the future. So in June, we'll have 2 on our smart systems, OHMS, which enables hygiene compliance improvement through the use of digital dispensers in a healthcare setting, and OWMS for washroom monitoring of fill levels of smart hygiene stands, smart soap dispensers, smart paper towel dispensers, toilet papers, waste bin, all that stuff. We'll also have another webinar on our diverse selection of hygiene stands themselves in June. So look forward to that. Sign up through the email training@ophardt.com or visiting our website. You can also find our YouTube channel to find past webinars like that on the Ingoman series. And if you're looking to stay in touch through regular communication, our newsletter and our training course, you can follow the links that you see on your screen to access those as well. So that concludes the presentation. So thank you very much for your interest in these products. We'll now enter the Q&A session. We already have a bunch that came in throughout the presentation, so we'll start with those, but feel free, if you have some thoughts, just formulating now to enter those in. We'll see if we can get to them. So the first question, of course, predictable, is on the lead times of these devices. So I'll just answer that because it's quite complicated. It really depends on quantities, location, those kind of things, whether you're willing to take partial deliveries. Yeah, it's really a big X factor right now. I would say that unlike a lot of our competitors, we're still delivering in the summer time frame. But if you reach out to us, we can give you more concrete information. During the coronavirus pandemic, it's what's true about lead times 5 minutes ago is unfortunately already ancient history. So we have to usually check with production scheduling directly when you have a request about delivery. So just email us and or call us, whatever it is, and we'll try to get back to you on lead times. Okay, here's another one. This one's probably for you, Porik, on the battery life of touchless devices. Can you maybe give a little bit more information about that?
So as I said, it's on those touchless dispensers, the RX, we use 4x C-cell batteries. So as part of the qualification process, it's actually something we measure. So I know on our 1.5 milliliter dispenser, we typically get somewhere between 90 and 105,000 cycles on those, which would equate to whatever the half-liter bottle, about 300 bottles of liquid. That would be the battery life would be more cycles, but the same quantity of liquid if the 1 milliliter dispenser was used. So round figure, 100,000 cycles per set of batteries, using good quality batteries, and that's important, of course.
Okay, I think another question here for maybe the both of you is how you clean these dispensers.
Okay, well, maybe I take the dispenser side of it first, and then Patrick can speak to the excuse me, to the stand maybe. So yeah, so the dispensers are designed not just, when we say, with ease of use in mind. Ease of use means ease of cleaning and so on as well. So there are two separate things. There are the pumps and the dispensers. So with the dispensers, our manual dispenser is capable of being placed in the dishwasher. Our touch dispenser, or indeed the manual dispenser, can be cleaned down with a damp cloth or use alcoholic wipes. There's no issue with the materials used at all. They're completely resistant to those. In terms of pumps, our permanent plastic pump is dishwasher safe or can be cleaned manually by flushing water through it. And if we go with our DHP and so on, then no cleaning is obviously necessary because it's a disposable solution.
Yeah, so when it comes to the brackets, if I may take over, so the brackets, they are made out of non-coated stainless steel grade IC304, which is a really high quality stainless steel, and it's designed also in a way that we avoid undercuts and so on. So we try to also keep the surfaces clean and simple, and it's typically cleaned with a cloth and with a wipe disinfection. So alcoholic wipe disinfection works well for the bracket systems. They are not designed to be autoclaved or cleaned in a dishwasher, but in a normal surface cleaning.
Great. Okay. Another question that maybe I'll take is whether these dispensers are also smart capable. And we have not designed this series to be smart capable. You know, that's something that we may choose to do down the road, but we have a number of smart dispensers. Last month we did a webinar on the Ingomon series, which is also a Euro bottle system that is retrofittable with smart technology, that you can buy that pre-configured with smart technology. So if that's something that interests you, immediately, I would say contact us about the Ingomon series, but the RX series currently not available in smart. Maybe even check out the webinar for OHMS next month. That one will, or OWMS, they'll explain to you how those smart technologies work. That might be of interest to this particular individual. We also have questions saying, you know, our customer care facility, our customer care team and sales team is quite busy, so they're hard to reach at the moment. If there's another way, I'd say in this particular instance, you know, we can, this being organized through the marketing department, who runs the training at OPHARDT.com email, we'll be happy to help you. Unfortunately, our resources at this point in time are really quite strapped. So please feel free to email us if you have questions on lead times, on orders, those kind of things, and we'll try to help you be directed into the correct channels and be able to place an order as soon as possible. Okay. Oh. So another question coming in here is, are the locking systems universal or unique? I'm not 100% sure what that means. Pork, do you think you can have an understanding of that? Yeah.
I'm just a little unclear as to what that means. But for example, I could imagine it means if the key, for example, for all of the dispensers, if you've got maybe 10 dispensers, each of them are locking, then yes, the one key will open all of those dispensers. You don't need to carry around a bunch of keys with you and so on. In the same way as the one key which locks our RX5M RX5T dispenser to the wall, or the special wall mount that's used. It is a universal key for that dispenser. It's not easily it's not easily copied. You can't just put in a small screwdriver or something and manage to get the thing open, but it is the same key for each of the dispensers. That's apologies if I misunderstood, but that would be my best guess at the question, unless the questioner would like to clarify.
No, yeah, that makes sense, and I didn't pick up on that immediately, but that is I would assume that's the exact question they're asking. So yeah, standardized lock. So every dispenser is equipped with the same kind of lock, but it's an OPHARDT unique lock, if you will. You know, one thing we can always do is if you're ordering very high volumes of these, you know, if you're a chemical producer or whatever it is, we can always look into implementing a separate lock or something like that. That's not outside of the realm of possibility, obviously associated with a cost. Okay, so I don't see any other questions that have come. Oh, yep, there are a few. Sorry about that. In case of disruption in terms of electronics, Porg, is the dispenser serviceable, or how best to approach that situation?
Okay, so what I would say is that the dispenser is very robust in terms of both design and build quality. So it's not something that we've seen issues with. Typically, if there are issues in terms of electronics, it comes from one of two things: either issues with something as simple as the batteries, for example. It can be a case where the dispenser has failed to close because the pump is incorrectly inserted. So in most cases, simply contacting the user and supplying technical support resolves those issues. The other issue we have seen is in cases where the dispenser becomes immersed in liquid or whatever, and obviously that is the challenge. So we will say that there is nothing that the end user can or should do to the dispenser other than the normal maintenance and troubleshooting tips that we would provide, but typically we don't see any issues there.
Okay, perfect. Well, that seems to be all the questions for today. If you have any more questions that pop into your head after the webinar, again, training@ophardt.com. You can email us. We'll try to respond as fast as we can. If you're having trouble getting through to the customer service or sales team, email us at training@ophardt.com as well. Visit our website at www.ophardt.com for more information on different products. And yeah, we're happy to arrange an appointment as well, give a live demo of these systems, and we'll see you next time. Thanks very much, everyone.